Okay, boys and girls, my another adventure is about to begin. If you can hear that sound, beeping, the guy's trying to back out from a row of trucks in there. So I'm picking up a Volvo A40G articulated dump truck. You'll see it in a second. It's pretty big. So I cleverly positioned my truck like this. You see at an angle to my trailer. And I'm somewhere in Pennsylvania, west of, northwest of Philadelphia. And I thought it would be a brand new one. I really don't like this dirty old, scratched ones. But it turns out, yeah, it's just a used machine. It's a big used articulated truck. Alright, let me go get ready. I already put my boards over there. The other two are broken, so I only have one more that I usually use for excavator bucket. And I didn't see any Home Depot or something on the way here. I asked these guys over here, of course they don't have anything. Oh no, we don't have any boards. Alright, that's the guy. And the truck is right behind him.
Took 2,000 pounds off your GBW.
This guy is good. One shot and he's done. You know, if this was me, it would take me maybe, I don't know, 3-4 times. You know, experience is very important. And you see, we put the wheels like it's so huge. Actually, there's no other way to load. So the front wheels are against my ramps in there, in front of the wheels. And then I already see how I will tie it down. Like there's eyelets on the front bumper, and there's 2 in the back, and then there's some on the sides. It's about 70,000 pounds, so I think I'll put about 3 pairs of chains is not enough, because that's only good for 66,000. Yeah, I'll put 4 pairs of chains, and we folded the mirrors. I'm gonna chain it down and cover the exhaust, and off we ride into the sunset. Alright, time to leave the dealer. They give me a key. This is a key from this Volvo dump truck. So that's my rooftop light, right? And this is my pusher axle controls. This is the pressure, and this is up and down. So right now it's down, because you see my pressure is about 52-53 psi. That's I'm guessing that's like 18,000 pounds, and my drives are at 60 psi, and I know that's 34. So that's what 34,000 pounds on my drives. And they want me to scale, but over here there's no scales. So I'm just heading over to I-76, and there's a rest area. It's about like 8 miles from here, 5 miles. Alright, I think we're good. So I got a bunch of chains on this. Wow, the brakes work. That's always good. Yeah, they said it was 72,000 pounds, but we don't think it's that heavy. It's A40G, right? So it's just like this one, but that's a brand new one. So that's what it looks like from the back. So like very big tires. So that's what I have. A40G, so it's 40 short tons is the capacity, right? So it can roughly do about,
you are on the fastest road. You should reach your destination by 1:16 p.m.
the payload is roughly just under 8, I think it's 80,000 pounds.
In 200 meters, turn right onto Pennsylvania 1.
And so yeah, this is a Volvo dealer. Oh, and what's interesting, I was doing my homework on this machine. You know, always a good idea. Just check the dimensions, you know, the weights, and I'm always curious about like engine, like what are they using.
Turn right onto Pennsylvania 100. It's down the Continue on Pennsylvania 100 for 2 kilometers.
And so what's funny is that, actually, yeah, kind of like funny, because this truck, this monster dump truck, has pretty much the same engine as my Mac. It's a 13-liter Volvo. It has 465 horsepower only, but it has 1860 torque, just like me. And this truck, the maximum speed is about 35 miles, 40 miles an hour. But you see, it can lift, it can haul in the bucket, it can haul 40 imperial tons, you know? And here's the beast. Check out the size of the wheel. Alright, I'm just doing a quick check here. Always a good idea to stop after, like, I don't know, 5-10 miles. And see, we locked this thing over here. Alright, so yeah, 2 chains in the back, 2 over here in the middle, and then I needed another one, so I wrapped the chain around this frame in here. And he pulled them like this in the opposite directions. And then over here, at first I wanted to use one because it's just too close. See how I had to do it? I had to hook up the like this. And this should be okay. Maybe I'll hook up you know, a cable. Just don't want this to touch the well, it's not gonna actually, it's not going anywhere. Well, I'll get a cable. And this thing has look, it already has a depth. See over here? Alright. But pretty wide. So I put a flag on the front and rear wheel. Yeah, these are good. So the front were a bit loose because there's suspension in there. And I always like doing like this slightly, right? So it pushes against the tire a little bit, you know? Not too much, not to damage it, but just kind of like acts as a, prevents this huge mass of a machine, you know, going forward. Yeah, everything looks good, except I'm gonna tie down a cable over there. Just wanted to show you what it looks like inside. Wow, pretty big cab. Ah, that's what he was saying. The guy was saying, I congratulated the guy. I said it would take me 5 or 6, you know, attempts to, but you just pulled it straight. And he says, oh, it's because there's a split in the hood. And if you can see that, like that, kind of like with little ribs in there, right in the middle, there's a split. And you see, and that split, and basically you sit in the middle. You know, and this machine is not like to the left like normal trucks, right? And so he says if you position, you know, that split in there, that line where 2 pieces of rubber are connected, you just, you know, look at the middle of the trailer, and that's where you go. Yeah, and of course mirrors are not supposed to be like that. We folded them so that otherwise they were sticking out. Okay, so this is your what? Okay, this is the transmission. That's to operate the bucket, you see? Parking brake. Okay, I got the key, so that's how you start it. Heated seats, oh beautiful, so it's all ready for Canada. Now what is this? Not sure what that is. This one, oh, like typical Volvo, you know. You see, they like in the car, they have all the controls right here. You don't have to, you know, reach on the dash. You see, your lights, your horn. Oh, they killed the power. And it tells you everything over here, right? And then there's this thing over here. We'll give you, yeah. Oh boy, I know this one, right? That's your regeneration. This will show you when you need to do manual regeneration, but mostly like on my truck, it works by itself. Whenever I try to do it, I could never activate it manually. It's always automatic, and sometimes I would hear it says do not shut off the engine, you know, when I try to shut it off, not because I'm just climbed a big hill, but because let's say I'm just pulling up to the pump after driving on a level road, and all of a sudden I see this message, you know, do not shut off the engine, and I know that's what's going on. So that's when the regeneration occurs. And then when I stand next to the truck, I can see or feel lots of heat coming down the passenger side. But anyway, yeah, so big cab. I think it's bigger than in a Cat. And you see, they'll even give you this, so you can make some extra money by maybe giving rides to some passengers or something. Yeah, that's like your, you know, little retirement fund seat. That's my theory. Anyway, there's a light over here, and I covered the exhaust, so we're all good. Yeah, so I put boards over here to get some traction. Right, so I'm about 135, I think, 135 inches wide. And sometimes people say, what kind of a deck you need, you know? And you see the front wheels are pushed against the risers in front of my wheels, and look how much space you have. See? I need this. You see, that's where my I need that space, right? So I cannot have anything over here, but thankfully there's a space in between, so I could still probably got a truck which the wheels go in here. But then how do you secure it, you know, when it's too close to the gooseneck? And that's why mine is 26 feet long. And that's what nowadays, that's like a standard for you know, heavy trailers, like 50-55 ton. Like, you cannot have less than that. Made it to Duncannon, Pennsylvania. There's a pilot here, right? Actually, I saw another truck stop on the way, but I never stopped there, so I did not know if they had a scale. So I needed to scale in order to get the New York permit. Now, that's my old ticket, right? That's my weight empty with 100% fuel, 45,880. And this is my new scale ticket with this Volvo thing. I thought it would be lighter, you know. Normally, when the shipper gives you a weight, normally they overestimating, you know. But this is not one of those cases. It felt a bit heavy going up, like on hills. So 121,000, that's my gross weight, right? So now we can deduct my empty 121040 pounds. And to give our Australian and British friends a taste, that's 55 tons, 55 metric tons. Okay, so 121, that's my gross weight. I know in Sweden, don't stuck with the Sweden. I know in Sweden 55 tons metric you guys do with a 2-axle truck and 1-axle trailer, but unfortunately this is not Sweden. So over here we need 7 axles for this, and we need a 7-axle rig to hold this much weight. And I have my pusher down, my pusher axle, right? So 121040. Sorry it takes so long. I'm not very smart. I mean, -4, well, otherwise I would not need a calculator, right? -45880, 75,160, but that's with 100% fuel. Now I don't have fuel, so I should deduct less. So 50%, so let's say we should add another 500 pounds to the load. So the load weighs, let's say 75,500 pounds, right? 75,500 pounds, or divided by 2.2, 34.3 metric tons. That's what this thing weighs. Okay, and I just checked all my chains, everything is good. But now I'm looking at my permit again, and this is one of those areas, you know, where you make it through Harrisburg before the curfew, you get stuck over here. Why? Because there's a short stretch. I explained this before. Here's my, by the way, here's my empty weight with 8 axles. So that axle is 2,200 pounds. It's not 3,000, like number 8. And this is the weight of my truck, 22.9, 22,940. That's just the truck with PTO wet line, full fuel. So always good to have these your empty weights, you know. This way you can compare your loaded weight, and you know always the pretty much exact what the payload is, you know. Yeah, and so what's happening is I'm looking at the Pennsylvania permit, and once again they say that 1115, that Smoking Dam or Shamokin Dam, they allow movement between 7:30 and 9 a.m. even though it's called the urbanized area, and there's no movement before 9 and after 4 in urbanized area. So they modified this rule to allow oversized loads to travel in the morning, but travel is still prohibited in this area from 4 p.m. to 7, you know. And there's nothing I can do, because at that point, like, even though my permit wants me to go on, usually I go on 11 and then 147, and 147 turns into 180. But I think there's a construction there, and I see here they want me to take 15 north to 80. 80, then go east to the next exit, and then take 147, which is 180, instead of going on 147. But this little part in there, like I don't know, 5 miles, that's where I cannot be after 4. You know, this truck stop, it's always crazy to get out of here, because the speed limit on that road is 45. People are flying, I don't know, 55 minimum. And you see, especially these guys are turning from here. Anyway, the quick update is that I saw an escort car, you know, pilot escort, and I look at his tags, it says Pennsylvania. So I jumped out, started waving like a crazy person. I said, "Hey buddy, can I ask you something? I have an oversized load." And so I asked him about this 1511, because it's a bit confusing. Like, maybe I can, since I'm not going on 11, I'm sticking to 15. and so maybe I can go now because the curfew is only for Highway 11. But the trick is in that in this Shamokin or Smoking Dam, 15 and 11 is the same, you know, and they split only after you pass the past that town. So you cannot be on 11, and since 11 is the same as 15. But anyway, so I thought I would ask this guy, and he's eating a hot dog, or I don't know. He says, you see the guy over there with the oversized load sign? He says he's my I'm accompanying him, so he would know better. Go, you can ask him. Okay, so I walked to that guy, and he's one of those 2-axle trucks, you know, that pull those mobile homes with a very short wheelbase. But again, I see the guy's license plate is Pennsylvania, and that's my tip. I know when you don't know something and you have a question about the area, don't ask people where you see like the plate says Alberta, you know, and you are in Pennsylvania, right? So ask a local guy. And so the escort did not know, and so I went to talk to that guy. I said, excuse me, sir, can you please help me? I see that your pilot said that you are the expert on this area. You know, trying to break the ice, right? So establish some communication. And the guy confirmed, so I was right. He says, yeah, you can go up there, but you'll have to stop right before you enter this Smoking Dam. You cannot get into the town, so you have to sit there until 7. So what's the point, you know? Because it's not that far.